Hello everybody and welcome to the Intentionary podcast, where we explore practical ideas on the role of money as a tool for living a more intentional life. I'm your host Rebecca Sano, and I am joined as always by my co-host
Yannick Sano.
And today we are talking about quitting
our jobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, so last time we spoke with you guys, I guess it was when we were in Rwanda.
Yeah, it's been a few months, guys.
Yeah.
We have missed you. I hope you have missed us.
Mm-hmm. But we're back. Guess
who's back?
Back again.
Again.
The Sanos are back. Tell your friends. Anyways, so yes, in a very, very brief nutshell, Rwanda was amazing. We had an incredible time out there.
Yeah.
We
a
were
lot of sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In total, we were there for about 2.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it was a very good and refreshing trip to take. And we were extremely refreshed by the time we came back and just, ready to take life on, right?
Yeah, it was a really good trip. We managed to see a few of Rwanda's top spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and managed to see the family, so...
Yeah. Good
all
food,
in all, really
good people, good weather, good country overall. Yeah. So yes, today we wanted to come on and just have a very casual chat with you guys about, I guess, something quite big that's happened in our lives recently. Both of our lives.
Yeah.
I guess, where do we start?
I think we should start with yours, because yours happened first, right?
Yeah. So basically, we both have quit our jobs, finally.
Yeah.
I actually remember we were sat right at that dining table, so we're in the living room at the moment, but we were sat at the dining table, I think one autumn evening, and we were just talking about, wouldn't it be good just to quit our jobs, because I think they were just taking a lot out of both of us, and we were just not feeling it at all. But it was this sort of hypothetical situation that in our minds was so far-fetched and sort of impossible to do. But I think that sort of started a ripple effect of other thoughts and maybe ideas about how life might be without a 9-to-5 full-time job that we didn't like.
Yeah. And I also remember our jobs were taking a lot in our lives, and they were really consuming us.
Yeah.
So, going in that direction, I think, is probably one of the best things that's happened to us so far in 2021.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And it wasn't something that we had set out to do. We weren't like, okay, this is the year that we quit our jobs. Because for us, maybe that was a bit more further down the line.
Yeah.
I think we've always sort of discussed that.
Yeah, I think it was more like third quarter of 2021, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe for me even beyond.
Yeah, for you, I think so.
Yeah. But just a chain of events, just sort of sped that process up, and maybe God's timing for it was a little bit different to our timing for it.
Yeah.
But basically what happened is that I was made redundant from my role, but it's so weird because the week prior to that, because we had been in Rwanda for maybe a couple of weeks at that point, and I was just sharing with Yannick, I was like, oh my days, I really am not feeling my job. It's taking a lot out of me. Just mentally, it's draining. I don't want to be there. Nothing wrong with the people there or anything like that, but it was just not a space that was enabling me to thrive. And it also emotionally, mentally, for me, it was just very tasking to kind of work every day, it was 9 to 5:30 really, and spend the good part of the day, because obviously we're in a new country. So I just wanted to just live my life, and I was like, why can't I do this thing? And I remember even thinking back on that at that time about a post that I saw on Instagram that was talking about like the different levels or the different types of wealth that we have in life. So it was saying there's 4 types of wealth. There's like financial freedom or financial wealth. That's one aspect. And there is health wealth, as in the physical, being wealthy physically, as in having your health intact. There's social wealth, or basically status in society. And then the other one that really struck me was time wealth, because I felt like I had all the other ones. I felt like, oh yes, I'm quite financially stable and financially free, even though I've got goals. I am very, very healthy, I feel, and I have a good social status. Not that I'm famous or anything, but I have a good standing with, like, I've got really good relationships in my life, which allow me to thrive. But the time one, especially with regards to having to work, giving like maybe 40 plus hours of my time every week to a job that I just didn't like, was incredibly sort of like restrictive. And I felt like I was really lacking in that one area of wealth and being able to sort of spend my life the way that I wanted to spend it.
Yeah, and also to add to that, I think it was just the end of a season, because, like, you know, living with you, obviously, even during lockdown, so it's not even like you were going to the office anymore, but I could see you every day and see you at work the way you were just, I don't want to say miserable, but yeah, you know, you could see that it was taking a lot in you. And I remember the day you got, you know, redundant, you know, you got that call from your manager. We were in Rwanda. I was in the garden chilling out. And then, you know, you called me.
Enjoying the sun.
Yeah, enjoying the sun.
Oh my gosh.
She was inside, enjoying the heat, but, you know, quite hot.
Yeah.
And then she called me, and I'm like, why did you call me so discreetly?
Yeah.
And I see a massive smile on her face. And I was like, what's going on here? I was like, oh, wow. I was really puzzled. And then she said to me, oh, I got made redundant. And we just started smiling, both of us. We literally just started smiling because we knew, like...
Yeah.
We weren't even, like, you know, scared. You know, when you get that kind of message, you're like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? What's my next move? Blah-de-blah-de-blah. But we're just laughing there. We're just actually excited about it.
We were so excited.
Yeah.
It was so strange.
You know, we're so excited. And we're talking after, and we're saying, this is God's timing.
It is.
You know, because, like, I feel like sometimes God shows you things, or he tells you things to do, but, you know, you don't fully trust. And, you know, he will just push you in the... in the pool. Yeah. So it was really good.
It was amazing. Yeah. And I remember actually the previous week, like when we were having that discussion, you were just like, you know what, just pray about it. Just pray for God to kind of show you, like, if it is that, you know, you need to leave now, you know, we can figure it out. You know, it was like, just see what God is saying. And then that following week, I get that call, and we were just like, wow, God's got a good sense of humor. Like, seriously, it's like, you know, I don't think that I would have ever made the leap to quit the corporate, or, you know, the corporate life, or whatever it is, the 9-to-5 employment, had it not been for that push. That, you know, that me being made redundant. And it wasn't like I was just like straight away, oh, let me find another job. Because, you know, I had my 4 weeks in lieu pay. So I had that grace period. But it wasn't like, oh, let me get another job. Because my heart just wasn't there. I was like, I don't want to do a replication of what I've been doing in a new kind of company. That it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. So... Yeah. And
on top of that, being abroad as well.
Yeah.
You know, I guess most people would have stressed out. Like, oh, I'm,
say that again.
You know, living abroad. What am I going to do? Where am I going to get money from?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think every step of the way, God just been there.
Yeah.
And, he's just been taking us.
Yeah, we had an incredible amount of peace about what was happening that
Yeah.
we were just laughing about it. We were like, whoa, this is like, this is amazing. It was like a gift. It was like, God was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, this is my gift to you. And
Yeah.
we're like, thank you, God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, coming back to that again, if I compare it to your previous job.
Yeah.
Because your previous job as well, you were made redundant.
I was.
Seems like your field, they just like to make people redundant. I don't know why.
Yeah, and that was right at the beginning of Corona.
Yeah, that was right. Like April?
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as...
April 2020?
They announced my redundancy at the end of March, and then I was made... Obviously, I had my 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had to work it, unlike this one. Yeah.
Yeah, and like our reaction from that news to this news was a bit different. Because when Corona hit, we were like, oh, wow, what is going on here? This new virus is just in the air. Now she's just lost her job. What are we going to do? But again, at that time, literally, when you finished your last job, the last day of your old job, you got your latest job, the one, the one that we just talked about.
Yeah. And there was actually an overlap. There was a 2-day overlap.
Oh, 2 days.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I remember because my start day was 2 days before my end date of my previous role.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. So that was my story. Go on, you share your story, babe.
My story, it's quite similar as well. I was really fed up with the job, and it was taking a lot of me. I remember the night before I would start my shift. I was like, oh, that feeling you have where you're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was making money, and we needed the money to pay for bills, etc., etc. But yeah, I think what gave me the courage was, so the wife has quit her job, and it's worked out. Why don't I try myself to quit the job? Because it's going to work out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously mine happened at the beginning of February. So that happened in the first week of Feb. And then you quit your job in April, right?
In April.
Well, after we got back from Rwanda.
Yeah, and also coming back, when we came back from Rwanda, there was just a few things at work, a few changes, and a few things that really pushed me, that I'm not going to give any details, but that really pushed me kind of out. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that was obviously a big decision, because it was then both of us have made this decision. Mine obviously was a redundancy, but I say that I quit because I didn't go looking for another role. So it's I was done with that sort of 9-to-5 job situation. And then you actually did quit, as in hand in your resignation. Yeah.
So it was quite interesting, because for me, prior to maybe even having the thoughts of quitting my job, it was always out of the question, because it's how am I going to survive? How are we going to pay for bills?
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing. It's we have all of these responsibilities, we have all of these bills, all these contracts, all of these sort of things that are going to require us to pay for them at the end of the month. So having looked at I finished my role at the beginning of February. Up until now, there has not been any change in our standard of living. Yeah. There's not been any bill we've not been able to pay. Yeah. There's not been any sort of difficulty, anything we've not been able to buy that we normally do buy.
Yeah, and there won't be anyway.
There won't be, no.
Yeah.
And it's incredible, because obviously, maybe we're talking from a standpoint of privilege, but we strongly believe that, our God is our provider. We've written about it many, many times. And sort of like even at the beginning of this year, I remember we gave our first fruit offering, which was quite a sort of a sizable amount of money over and above our tithe and offering.
Yeah.
And that was an act of sort of like our dependence to sort of like place God as the sole provider of everything that we have. You know what I mean? Everything that we own, everything that we are, everything that surrounds us and that we have, even our jobs, he is the one who provides through our jobs for us.
Yeah.
It isn't the fact that it's the jobs actually that have that sort of provision. They don't have the power to provide for us because
exactly.
God is over and above that. So yeah, I guess that's the long and short of like what we our journey to quitting our jobs.
Yeah, and it was a big leap of faith.
Yeah. It's massive.
But it was worth it all the way, I think.
Would you do it again, babe?
Oh, I would do it again.
I would do it again too.
100%. I would do it again.
Do you wish you did it earlier?
I actually wish I did it like sometime last year or something.
What are your reasons?
I guess it was fear.
As in, why do you think you would have wanted to do it earlier? Why?
Because of the experience that I have now. Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about the experience.
It's just the freedom that you have.
That time freedom, guys.
Yeah,
that time wealth. It's
time freedom where you don't need to ask somebody, oh, can I book this day off? Can I book this week off? Can I finish early? Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, it's just, the days you're free because you're free every day. So, if you need to plan something with a friend or family member or do something that you want to do, you can do that. You don't need permission.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think that element just makes it worthwhile.
It does. Yeah. It does. No, you're so right. You're so right. Like, I guess, for me, I've been spending more time sort of just relaxing, resting. I can sleep in the middle of the day. I can sleep whenever I want. I can take a nap. I don't have to like be on call and doing whatever it is that I need to do because somebody has said you need to be in these, working at these hours or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So what are we doing for money? I think that's what mainly...
Yeah, because I think people now think, oh, these guys are just there on the sofa. Chilling, eating.
Feet up, pizza every day. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we do have a few streams of income and investments that we set up years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not years ago, but in the last 12, 24 months.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. That have been giving us good profit and that are growing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's like you've said, it's like multiple sort of like streams of income that gives us the stability. And maybe that's, why we're also so, like maybe not afraid or concerned about what was going to happen because we haven't just been sat on our butts since it happened.
Exactly.
We've, in a way, I would actually say I've been working more. In a way.
Yeah.
Because I think when I was obviously working in the role that I was in, I was doing the bare minimum. I was doing the bare minimum. I'm not going to lie.
That's true.
Because there was just no motivation for me. I was doing the bare minimum. And now it's like, I actually enjoy what I'm doing. I feel like this thing is mine. You know what I mean? It brings out as much as I put in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm taking care of it with a different sort of attitude, with a different sort of like motivation and drive. It's like, it's my little baby. It's like, I'm nurturing it and I know it is going to grow into something that is bigger, and it'll sort of like bear fruits, if I water it every day, if I, feed it whatever it is it needs to be fed, like time, energy, and other resources.
Yeah.
So it's different, and it doesn't feel like work, even though I am doing more of it. And obviously I have to have some sort of structure. It's not like I can just, like wake up whenever I want. There's actually some sort of structure that I have to stick to.
Yeah.
Everything runs on time in the world, but it's different because, again, it's like if I want to take a day off, I can just take a day off, and I do. You know what I mean? I have,
Yeah, you're off today. Yeah?
I was off today, and I just watched Netflix, which was amazing. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, and it's I don't know, I can't even describe it. The feeling that I get on a Sunday night going into a Monday is radically and drastically different to the one I used to get when I was in my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's no longer that dreaded feeling of, oh my God, I've got work tomorrow. And it's like this cloud, this looming cloud over you, that's like forever just there because you're working however many days in a year. And yeah, it's gone. And there's no stress, there's no nothing.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So what advice do you have, babe, for anybody who might be considering going down the route that we have chosen?
Yeah, I think obviously make a list of all the pros and cons about the decision that you are about to make, because we're not saying just do it for the sake of doing it.
That's right.
You might not be in the best situation right now. You might be, you might have other financial commitments that if you do that, it's gonna set you even further back. Yeah, so just really study your situation. Just make sure that you're making the right decision for you about your current situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Yeah, because I mean, we're not saying that everybody feels the way that we felt about our jobs.
Exactly. Some people love their jobs.
Some people love their jobs.
And, if you love your job and, it gives you that feeling in life of accomplishment, definitely.
And fulfillment, yeah.
And fulfillment, definitely stick to it. Because, it's not everyone that, that's meant to quit their job or...
No.
Have businesses, etc.
Yeah, because I think for us, it's always been something that we've always wanted to do, which was be our own bosses, sort of like make our own money, have our own thing going on. But I know that that's not something that everybody desires. And, that's perfect. That's absolutely fine.
Exactly.
That, whatever works for you. So, yeah, I agree with that, babe. Like, put down the pros and cons, but also maybe have some sort of game plan. I know, to be honest, I didn't have a game plan because when it happened, it was such a surprise because it was like I had no idea that there was going to be redundancies. They hit us with the whole restructuring script that companies usually do and hide behind. So it was like completely out of the blue. So even though I was happy about it, I had no game plan. I had no idea how I was going to make money. But, I just dwelled on the fact that, my hands are blessed and God works through me to make wealth. You know what I mean? I don't need this job. I don't depend on anybody or anything as a source of my livelihood and sort of like the income that I have. And God is my provider. So, I dwelt on that and I got creative. And you will figure it out. You will figure it out. But it's better to go into it with a game plan. Yeah,
I think when you're pushed against the wall.
Yeah.
And then it kind of release this
it's incredible,
like that, this super power that you have.
It's incredible.
It's
incredible.
I need to do this, and the ideas just start flowing and start flowing.
It's like a survival instinct. It's like,
exactly,
what do I need to do in this situation for me not to go hungry? And we're living in the 21st century. There's there's too many ways that you can make money. There's too many ways that you can make a living. You know what I mean? You don't even have to
Exactly.
look that far.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you've got
yeah.
your phone and you've got YouTube, yeah, I think you'll be all right.
If you got internet connection, like
That's
I always
it.
say it, it's limitless out here.
It's limitless, literally. And let's round off with one more question. Ooh. I guess I've got this one. So what mental journey did you go through leading up to this decision?
What do you mean by that?
So I can go first. I can answer this question first. So basically, what I mean by this is that for me, the mental journey that I took was a lot of like unlearning of things. Because sort of I had this concept growing up, I think as maybe most people do. I don't know, I'd like to think, but I assume that many people have this sort of like mindset as well of, you know, the importance of a job. Because from the time that you're young, you go to school, all that you're working towards is getting a job, right? And for me to even ever consider the possibility of stepping away from the job, I had to do a lot of unlearning that, okay, life can actually happen without a job. Because, you know, people going through like childhood and going through school, you're not taught like, oh, this is how you start a business. You're usually just taught, oh, what job do you want to do when you grow up? You know what I mean? You're not said, it's not like, what business do you want to start when you grow up? It's always, what's the job? What's your occupation? What career do you want to do? You know what I mean? It's never really a focus on like, oh, what entrepreneurship, what investments do you want to make? How do you want to sort of like make money or whatever it is? It's always focused on a job. So for me, I was always, I guess prior to last year and the year before, always looking at a job and how I can maybe work my way up the ladder. It was never, oh, how do I start my own thing or anything like that. So for me, I had to do a lot of unlearning in that sense, and also taking my identity outside of what I do. Because that was also a big thing that, you know, you have this job that you have and it's your title. It's like the first thing that you ask somebody when you meet them, if they're a stranger, you say, what do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's so true, you know?
It's so true. It's so true. It's like, what do you do? It's like, it's something that we ask everybody, like, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like, oh,
It's just one of those
nice to meet you.
questions,
My name
like,
is Yannick.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
What's your name?
Yeah.
Or maybe where do you live, maybe?
Yeah.
And then, what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Straight away. So it's like I also sort of associated my job and my title as a job, or whatever I did, with my identity. And I actually wanted to read something, but do you want to pitch in there before I read it?
No, go on.
Okay. Yeah, so what I wanted to read really is the is an essay that was written by the minimalists. If anybody knows me, they know I love the minimalists. But it's a very good article, and I thought I'd share it. It'll probably just take a minute or two. So the article is titled "Life's Most Dangerous Question: What do you do?" This is often the first question we ask strangers. On the surface, it seems like an innocuous query, one we ask each other every day. A servile forward nicety we utter so we have something, anything to talk about. The majority of the answers are boring, soundbite-ish replies we have standing by at the ready, prepped for the next dinner party or networking event. I am a director of operations. I am a regional manager. I am the senior vice president of Who Gives a Poop. That's a bad word. Whoop-de-doo, good for you. Truth be told, we regurgitate these canned answers because they're easy to repeat, trance-like and semi-conscious over and over again. No one wants to talk about their boring job ad nauseum, but it sure is easy to state your name, rank, and serial number. It's easy to prove you're a cog in the wheel or a rung in the ladder, just like everyone else. It's much harder, however, to talk about other more important aspects of life. So instead of finding more worthwhile discussions, we go about our days providing lifeless answers to this lifeless question our collective discs set to repeat. Let's think about this question. It's such a broad, salient inquiry, any answer would suffice. What do? I do a lot of things. I drink water. I eat food. I write words sloppily onto little yellow legal pads. Once you scrape away its cheap gold plating, however, you'll find a series of irksome inquisitions lurking beneath the surface. Sadly, what we're actually asking when we pose it this malefic question, albeit unknowingly, is, how do you earn a paycheck?
Wow.
How much money do you make? What is your socio-economic status? Based on that status, where do I fall on the socio-economic ladder compared to you? Am I a rung above you? Below you? How should I judge you? Are you worth my time?
That's crazy, you know?
It's crazy.
Wow.
I think there's so
How
much
do you-
truth in that, but it's crazy, right?
How do you earn a paycheck?
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So it's like an indirect
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, when I actually assessed my sort of perceptions on sort of my, how do I say this? When I truly assessed how or what I was trying to convey whenever I said what I did, it is so true that I, wanted to be perceived a particular way, It's like I wanted to, I had so much of my identity wrapped up in what I did, and I was really proud of it, but I didn't even like it. That was the sad thing. I didn't even like what I did. So it's like I was so hung up on this part of my identity, which I was proud of and looked good to other people, and maybe, ranked me in a particular socioeconomic status, or, that made me look good, or that meant that, people thought I earned a lot of money, whatever it was. But it was a life of, like emptiness. It's like, and so what?
Yeah.
You want to weigh in?
Yeah, for me, the question was, what mental journey did you go through leading up to this decision?
Yeah.
I think the mental journey that I went through for me was like changing my mindset, about things. Changing my mindset about work. What is work? Why am I doing this work? Am I fulfilled in this work? And when you kind of find the answer to these questions, and you find the answer to these questions, you're like, well, is this worth my time? Am I doing the best thing with the ability and the talent that God has put in me? No, I'm not. And from there, you can move forward. And I remember reading this article. It was by Pastor Chris, and in it he said, "I've often said that money is an illusion that exists only in the minds of the poor." And when you look at who works 9 to 5, it's mostly the 80%, or even the 90%. Not to say that they are poor, but obviously they're the 80% and 90% because they are below the 10% who makes the most money. And he continues on and says, there is no such thing as money. Money is a deception and a distraction in the world. When God made this world, there was no such thing as money. Money evolved with time, which is completely true.
Wow, yeah.
Because as Christian, when we read the Bible, like, there was no money back in the days, back in Adam and Eve's garden, back in the days of David, etc. There was no money. There was no bill that says, oh, this is worth this much. There was no paper form of wealth, which is what money is. And he continues on saying, with what's happening in the world today, many now better understand that money is a game of numbers. Money is a game of numbers. And I'm not going to go much into this, but, you can do your own research. But when you understand that money is a game of numbers, you just understand that I'm either going to give my numbers to my employee, or I'm going to use my number for my own. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Yeah, I think understanding money in that way is so interesting, and I think a lot of us could do a lot of unlearning with regards to that, right? Like a lot of breaking down of our mental barriers that might limit us from living in our true potential and being fulfilled. And I think maybe on a later date we can talk about the entrepreneurial ventures that we have, decided upon. But this episode really, the purpose was to just encourage, you know what I mean, and to also share what we're doing, and sort of put out there the idea that there are different options, This is all about living intentionally and sort of like living a life of intention, and that does not look the same for everybody.
Yeah.
And if something is robbing you of your joy, if something is not serving you, like your job, or anything else, you can leave it. You can leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do something else.
Yeah. And it might be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For the first week or month or few months.
Yep.
But eventually, you find yourself living the life you've always wanted to live and having the freedom and the time you've always wanted to have.
That's true. That's true. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you very much. Yes. I think the usual things. Patreon, support us on there. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram. Connect with us. And look forward to seeing you again next time.
Yeah, shout out to all our Patreons member, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support, guys. We really appreciate it.
We do. All right. Catch you next time.
Peace out.